Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to noon Central. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In Wheel Time car talk show, your award-winning go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Dziekan, who's off camera, Don Armstrong here. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. It's kind of a gloomy Saturday outside. We had some storms roll through last evening, but it's supposed to be nice this afternoon and then storm again tomorrow. So
temperature's good.
It is nice. Yeah, and it's not going to be that way long. Because
and you don't look gloomy. You look quite cheery this morning.
Festive. Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, I thought, here's this shirt hanging in the closet. I thought
got hibiscus on it and pineapple and
there you go.
Is that what that is?
He is Don Ho.
Don, yeah, we can go.
I've been waiting for the show to start to say that joke.
Tiny bubbles.
Yes.
Yeah. And a couple of people have said good morning to Ray Ray.
Oh, that's great. So we know who those people are. Hey, it's Ray. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. At any rate, so we're going to have a good time this morning. And do we have RoShelle yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're going to start the show off with one of our favorite folks, RoShelle Salinas, and she is with the Houston Auto Dealers Association that puts on the Houston Auto Show. Look at you, all bright and cheery and looking nice. How are you? It's good to see you.
Oh, it's so great to see you guys. I miss you so much.
Well, you don't have to miss us anymore because here we are and here for you. How you been?
Pretty good. Hanging in there, trying to find ways to keep busy, I guess.
Yeah, so...
you have 3 children. What do you mean finding ways to keep busy?
Professionally.
Oh, okay.
So are you going on? You won't be going on a Christmas excursion this year like you did last year, will you?
Unfortunately, no. COVID is also rampant in Mexico, and so all of our family plans have been canceled there.
We hope and pray everybody's safe.
Yeah.
We'll be here safe.
So I guess the first thing out of the box with you this morning is the fact that no Houston Auto Show this year, which is really kind of not a surprise with everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate, of course. Back in October, we did decide to postpone the January show, and we really had our fingers crossed. We knew that it just wasn't going to be possible, feasible, everything's so uncertain to do in January. So we were really anticipating some May dates and had those booked with Energy Center and was working towards that with, many manufacturers buy-in saying, yes, put us down, pencil us in. Once we know everything is, improving with coronavirus, we'll move forward. We had a lot of contingency plans of taking care of people and safety precautions and temperature checks and all the things that were going to need to go into place. So we were working, trying to figure out how all of that could happen in May. And many people heard this week, the Houston Rodeo has decided to move from March to May. And I'm glad that they can, move such a large scale event to that time and be able to do that. But unfortunately, that takes away the dates for us.
Oh boy.
And that puts it way too close for our planning, for the manufacturer's planning for our January 2022 show. So we've just decided to go ahead and cancel this year, hold out, and work towards a really spectacular show in 2022.
Well, my gut tells me that I'm not really too sure about the rodeo doing their thing in May either, because the way things are going now, I mean, this COVID thing is red hot, especially here in the Houston area. And man, May is pretty quick afterwards, and that would be a super spreader event they've actually fudged just a little bit and said, this is our plan today.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
which means it's still flexible, and depending on where they are with vaccine and all that stuff as to what all gets pulled off. But I would think waiting until 2022, I would assume that they would have a pretty good kibosh on all of this, and we should be able to have the Houston Auto Show again.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic for 22's event, and I think that we can definitely hopefully do that with the vaccine being in place by then, as long as all of that goes smoothly, which it's definitely a logistical feat to get through to get everyone vaccinated, the people that want to be vaccinated. So hopefully that can take place. But I know the manufacturers and our own budgets are extremely eager to have the auto show and have a place where people can gather safely and experience life again.
Well, and when you talk about budget, one of the good things, though, is that the car business has been strong in Houston.
Thankfully.
It hasn't collapsed the way a lot of people would assume it has. So, that's everybody's itching to get back to the show circuit.
Yeah, and that had a lot to do with HADA's efforts legislatively, making sure that car dealerships were deemed essential businesses and that, people could still go out and get a car if they needed one or get their car serviced and repaired if needed to. People forget how dependent we are on vehicles here in Houston. And if you're in an unfortunate accident or your vehicle breaks down, you're going to need a place to buy a new one. So it was really important for us to make dealerships an essential business. And when we were able to do that, that kept this going for them and keeping them steady.
And people need to understand that HADA is not just about a car show. You guys have, I would say, probably spend much more effort on the legislative side of things as well, making sure things are happening for the car dealers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're a giving association. So we have, over $300,000 that we give in scholarships, and we help purchase the new trucks for the motorist assistance program. So there's a lot that we do with our revenues from the Houston Auto Show. And that's why it's extremely important for us to have it. But thankfully, we're in a place where we can still get by and, be cautious and precautious this year with our budget so that in 2022, we can kind of pick up where we left off.
Well, RoShelle, I read a story here on our show, I guess it was about a month or so ago, about research when it comes to car buyers and potential buyers. You're people that would come to the Houston Auto Show and research cars before they buy. And I did not realize how huge an impact that car show has on new car buyers. And that everybody that's really into new cars and they're thinking about buying them, they go to the car show. And I didn't realize that was like 72% of the people that go are actually looking to buy a car. It's huge. And the impact that you guys have on the, 5-day, 6-day show is huge in itself, and the fact that you've got people out there that got money in their pockets, they're out there shopping for cars. And however many people you put through, 250,000 people in a few days?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to have this type of marketing event, because that it is the no pressure place where you can actually do your consumer research in person. And when you're buying such an expensive item for yourself, you're not just only going to look online and read reviews. You need to touch it, see it, feel it, sit in it, see how it hugs you in the seat, see if the car seats go in. You have to do all of that. And that's why the auto show is really vital. And our surveys show that, more than 60% of the people are there to comparison shop and buy a car within the next 6 months of attending the auto show. And I know personal people that have testimonials that they have waited to make their vehicle purchase until they came to the auto show just in case they didn't see something else that they wanted. So it's a really important event. And I really hope that, this environment and the way that culture changes during a pandemic doesn't affect, the importance and the successfulness of auto shows around the country.
Well, let's face it. The fact of the matter is that you're not alone when it comes to auto shows that have been postponed for another year.
Yeah, very much
I mean,
so.
every one of them that we are familiar with, that they've all been postponed too. It's a shame.
Right.
And, the Detroit Auto Show, which was the hallmark, if you will, of auto shows for decades and decades, they had a big event planned for last summer. That didn't happen. And it's just been a huge mess. But moving forward, do you think that this is going to make the auto shows maybe consider a different kind of venue? All I could think of was, well, why don't they have open-sided tents covering the cars? Yeah, that may sound crazy, but at least it would be a car show where people could shop for cars under an open-air tent. Does that make sense to you?
Of course, and what's really the silver lining of situations like this is people get creative and they start to think out of the box. And my colleagues in Kansas City have moved their show to early summertime, and they're going to put it at their raceway, at their NASCAR raceway, and host everything outside and have extended ride and drives because now they have a racetrack to do that on.
Oh, that's
so
that's
it's
a good
really
idea.
People are thinking out of the box and getting creative. The issue is with safety for people during a pandemic is everyone is in a line to sit inside of a car.
Yep.
To be able to clean and sanitize a vehicle in time and not put anyone at risk is extremely challenging. And so that's why, end all, kind of decision making is those are challenges that are really hard to overcome. And it's just probably safer if we just
because at the Houston Auto Show, particularly the Jeep and Ram drive events, they're inside. There's people lined up, and they'll stand there for 30, 40 minutes in line.
Every bit of that.
All day long, people are standing there for that.
I have a question.
Exactly. And those with a professional driver, I think it's a little bit easier to implement those cleaning tactics. But the vehicles that are just on display that people are getting in and out of the back seat with multiple families in the different parts of the car because they just want to see it and it's a crowded event.
That's true. They don't really have somebody, an attendant per se, to stand right there with every vehicle.
Well, that's also been a subject of discussion among all of the dealerships. So if you go to a dealership, what do you do there? And I know that there is a protocol that dealerships are now using to sanitize vehicles and appointments and this sort of thing. So even the visit to the dealership has changed, hasn't it?
My question is...
Absolutely, yeah. Monument Chevrolet, they've been they've been fogging their machines. They have these really cool fogging guns, and they fog each vehicle that comes into the service department. And then it's an option for the customer if they want to fog their vehicle when they leave the service department as well. So yeah, people are getting creative, and I admire that.
RoShelle, I have a question. With the large event that the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is, and of course the auto show is a large event, has anybody come up with an idea to maybe partner together in that time frame to reduce costs and the budget costs? And obviously, both events are not going to be as enormous coming into 2021 as they were in the past. Partnership and split the event.
That's a great question. When we were looking at hosting in May, we were actually going to have to make the venue smaller for us because we knew that there was a number of manufacturers that have already said that they weren't going to participate in the show. So we were working with the venue to possibly reschedule also the boat or the RV show at the same time as us. Oh. And in that way we could have a dual ticket and, be creative thinking it in that way. But it still is a bit of a numbers game.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
Because you're only allowed so many people in the building at a time. And,
exactly.
those restrictions. And then on top of that, the space restrictions.
You have no idea the analyzing we've been doing on our end on how to reconfigure things to make it spacious and how to fit people in the building, and would that amount of people coming into the building still be safe and profitable, and how would it all work? And we've e-ticketing, and 90% of our tickets are purchased at the door on the day of, and how are we going to go all zero box office at the door? So there was a lot of analyzing going into what we were going to have to do in May, and I'm sure some of those ideas and safety precautions will still be implemented, having a January 22 event, just because risk is going to be different then.
So, RoShelle, let's shift gears for just a second. Let's talk about the dealers themselves. What are they saying? What are they dealing with? How are they handling this whole thing?
When I started working with the dealer community back in 2011 and had learned how they overcame the 2008 economic downfall, and time again, the dealers are able to recreate themselves. And even though for the consumer, it's still a traditional visit and people can say all they want that the dealership never changes, but they are really quick on their feet at figuring out how to do things. And a lot of dealerships on the safety side of just administering now have two shifts of employees. They have an A shift and a B shift, so that if there's an outbreak of coronavirus in their dealership, they know they're not losing all of their staff at one entire time, that they can bring in the B team, and that they're all kind of working in their own households in a way. So that's been really smart in their kind of logistical planning. They're also working on skeleton shifts in many ways, or skeleton staff, and they're definitely cleaning and making appointments and doing online consultations along the way, and then doing at-home test drives. There's many dealerships now that offer to bring you the vehicle to your home. You test drive it there. They go over it with you at a distance with their mask and all the safety precautions that they can implement. And then you can make a buying decision right there from your doorstep.
I've got another story that I'm going to do a little bit later on in our news segment, and that is the fact that actually there is a shortage of inventory across the United States in many categories. They just, because of various and sundry things that have happened because of coronavirus that has really hampered production levels. Are the Houston dealers dealing with that as well?
They really hurt from that in the summertime. They started getting inventory back in the fall, and now pretty much everyone is back on track of getting the inventory that they need. There are some luxury brands and European-made brands that are struggling with that, and mostly it's because, they're doing business costs. Jaguar Land Rover is one of those cases. They're selling more vehicles in Europe than they could make profitable to ship and sell vehicles here. So the inventories here in the U.S. are really low, and they're just keeping sales in Europe. So things like that are happening with inventory. But, domestic brands are all really coming back on track with their getting vehicles there, but they're definitely selling fast because they're not at inventory levels that they've had before. So it's like when you go into the dealership and you find something you want, you better be ready to make that decision right then, because that vehicle might not be there in a couple hours.
And probably won't be, considering the speed at what they're selling at right now.
Right.
The traffic at the dealerships is pretty good. The dealerships are adapting almost every day to try and bring the customers something new in the way that they deal with the COVID situation that kind of puts them above the crowd and gives customers a reason to come to that store. So they've been real good about making those systemic changes to how they manage customers coming in and out of the stores.
So do you have any suggestions for somebody that's looking to buy a car as to how they would approach a dealer? Would do it online, go visit the store? What would be the most cost, time-efficient method of looking and buying a new car?
Bring cash.
Well, obviously, I always recommend to people, kind of have in mind the specifications that you want and your budget. And then call that dealership today, depending on your risk and comfort level. Everyone has a different risk level and different antibodies, or you've had the vaccine. So everyone has their own necessities to being safe. But if you're trying to be the most precautious that you can, I'd say look at every dealership has their inventory online now. So look online, check out the vehicle first, then call them up, make an appointment. Because when you make an appointment, you know that you're going to get that attention. You're not going to be waiting around in the dealership for the salesperson. It's going to be a much more fluid process, and that's going to help you. And if you're even more high risk, then see if that dealership, can bring that vehicle to you. Especially if you live within 5 to 10 miles of the dealership, they're definitely going to do that. And any of the higher brands will pretty much take the vehicle anymore.
And most dealerships have a very active internet department. So when you're online looking at a vehicle, there's somebody kind of waiting for you to enter the chat room to start talking to you and engage you immediately. So there really isn't any waiting to talk to them about a specific vehicle and inventory.
RoShelle Salinas, we sure love you, and we miss you this year, and we hope that we get to see you before the next car show in a year. Of course, we'll definitely chat till then, so be sure and tell Wyatt we said hello, and the best to you and your family. And don't go to Mexico. Stay here,
No.
And if you're looking for something to do, come on over to Sugar Land.
Thank you. I will. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you guys. Have a great day.
You do the
Thank
same.
you.
Bye, honey. RoShelle Salinas, Houston Auto Dealers Association. It's always great to talk to her.
She knows what's going on.
She does.
I'll
Smart
tell
lady.
you.
Yeah, she is very good at what she does. It's time for you guys to make the old switcheroo, so we can get Jeffrey over here, and he's going to do our pre-owned car of the week. And this week we have a special treat for you, and don't turn us off because I'm not interested in that, because we've got some news for you here.
Your 1984 Yugo? Just gonna review a Yugo.
Well, I'm glad he's not going to review a Yugo. I never knew anybody that owned one, nor do I.
Oh, I knew a dealership that sold them. It was
What a disaster.
It was bad. They'd come off the truck, and you'd look down at the shifter boot, and you could see the ground through the shifter boot.
But you had a story on why they put
Rear window defoggers on them.
Why is that?
Because it keeps your hands warm while you're pushing it.
I love that story.
That's why they named it a Yugo. Is you wait here with the car, and you go call the wrecker.
You know, I think
Anyhow.
Conrad at info at
realtime.com. Wanted to remind you guys that we're going to be giving away next hour two $40 gift certificates to Black Bear Diners. There are two of them here in the Houston area. And our address is info@inwheeltime.com. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to get into the pool to win a $40 worth of free dining at the Black Bear Diner, send us your contact information. You can either do it with your email address or your phone number, whatever you want to do, to info@inwheeltime.com.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and we'll pull a couple of winners and get you some gift certificates. Got to be used before the end of the year, so you haven't got a lot of time. Okay, time now for this hour's car review. It's our pre-owned car of the week. Jeffrey's got the 2017 Honda Odyssey.
Oh, I love this. I'm a minivan person.
I am too. I love those things.
I love minivan. Kathy despises them. My wife despises them, but don't even think about it. It's just amazing. So this is a 2017 Honda Odyssey. The trim levels are an LX, an EX, an EXL, an EXL with rear entertainment. We all love that. And then the SE Touring Elite. The one I'm reviewing here is the SE Touring Elite. It is a minivan. It is a multi-passenger vehicle, not to be mistaken with an SUV or a CUV. It is 8 seats, which is 8 passengers in this particular one. We talk about 8 seats in other vehicles or 4 seats, and it's not necessarily the passengers. This is a cool vehicle. I like it. Some of the changes that are produced year to year, you got some front fascia changes. You've got, as you see there underneath the doors, you've got all the sculpture and things for that body styling, roof racks, fog lamps, sunroofs, and things to have the changes year to year. Exterior features, daytime running lights. All the vehicles have that now. Front and rear independent suspension with sway bar. So that would be interesting there. It's a good handling, good ride. 235/65 R17s with alloy wheels. And, of course, there's
Good size tire.
Yeah, it's a good size tire, and it's a good handling car. It's a good handling vehicle. I like minivans. So so far as
Do you like minivans?
I do.
Okay.
You know, if Cadillac made one, I'd be all over it. I would be all over the Cadillac.
Well, those things are so gussied up these days, they're almost like a Cadillac.
You know what? And that's the whole point, because you can get the same features in a minivan as you can in a luxury vehicle.
But what was the John Travolta movie? The Oldsmobile Silhouette was the Cadillac of minivans.
The Oldsmobile Silhouette.
You know, that was they said that in the movie.
Yep.
I can't remember what movie it was.
But all minivans. Not
Get
just,
Shorty. Get Shorty.
Get Shorty.
I picked the Honda because when we get further down into the review, I'll give
We'll
you
just go for it.
There you go. So the comfort and safety, you know, you got cool heated seats, you got leather, you got sunroof, you got blind spot sensors, you've got a rear vacuum cleaner, which is very, very cool. HUD with a head-up display, power seats, lane departure, satellite radio, 7 speakers with a subwoofer, GPS, third-row seating, child safety latches, video monitor. I'm going through this. There's like 16 different things just in this vehicle. Separate radio for the rear, 3-zone climate control, 7 exterior colors, 3 interior colors, Conrad, in case you're writing that down. So very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, but I will if you want.
Are you trying to sell the damn thing? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to sell my wife because she's listening. So
Lord.
There you go. 3.5-liter V6, 24-valve, variable speed timing. It's got a single overhead cam. It is 248 horsepower at 5,700 RPM. Now,
Perfect.
That's a lot of horsepower for a minivan. 250, and they do 250 on the torque, and they do measure it in Newton meters because it is a Honda. Look at that shot. I like that. Is that cool?
There's Don in the back seat.
They're done. Yeah.
Or am I the driver? Looks like Barbie and Ken there, doesn't it?
It does, but isn't that a cool feature? I think
yeah,
that's awesome.
I'd like to see that vehicle in particular because it doesn't have doors on it.
Well, look at the thigh bolsters on that seat in the back.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's like a racing seat.
Oh my God.
So it's a 6-speed automatic transmission. Mileage is 19 miles per gallon in the city, 27 on the highway with a combined of 22.
I love thigh bolsters.
You do. It's a 21-gallon tank at 300.
I want that car. See, it doesn't have a side on it.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's great.
That shows the third-row seating as well. So just to give you an overall view that there is room, they're spacious, you know, for what they...
Well, and you can also see in that picture what they call theater seating. Front row is lower than the middle row, that's lower than the back row.
Right. There's the engine, the 3.5-liter V6. Moving on to this, I like minivans, in case I hadn't told you that.
There you are with the
Kathy,
kids.
you're about to get a
Oh, now look at
That
this.
right there, that is a Honda. This car was actually featured on Jay Leno at one time. This is a 1,000 horsepower Honda Odyssey minivan. Isn't that cool?
Pimp my Honda.
Pimp my Honda.
Pimp my minivan. That is so cool.
I like the big thing on the roof up there.
Yeah, that's a Thule. That's for Thule is a Northwest United States product for camping. And
Why would you do that on a 1,000 horsepower lowered Honda minivan?
Why
'Cause you
not?
can.
Yes, why not?
That's so dumb. Is that where you keep
Why
the
not?
tools or what?
You could, yeah, or the Thule. So this is a 30. It's got 37,000 miles on it. It's right around 30 grand. Anywhere you can get them, depending on the mileage, anywhere from 25.
If you
to
can
40.
find them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the minivans in the category are the Chrysler Town and Country, the Nissan Quest, Toyota Sienna, Kia Sportage, the Dodge Caravan, which is the normal, the start of all this. You've got a Chevrolet full size, and then you've got a Mercedes the minivan.
But the minivan market's very much shrinking from the manufacturer's point of view. It used to be everybody offered a minivan.
Yeah.
Now it's probably four or five really that still have a minivan out there.
Competitive.
And I know even on the Chrysler side, haven't they moved it all over to the Pacifica?
Yes. And in case you don't know, I'm a minivan fan.
You've mentioned that several times.
Have I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
trade that Cadillac in on a minivan.
Don't, Cadillac, if you're listening, create a minivan.
You know what we could do?
And Jeff will drive it
We
for
could
you.
we could take the Honda Odyssey, take the stickers off of it, and put Cadillac stickers on
And
it.
a-
Kind of
and a-
like
and a
you've done out there.
V-series.
Yeah,
A
kind of like
V-series.
you've done with yours, and put the V on the
That's
back
another
of it.
story for another episode.
No, it's not. It's the story for this day.
Well, okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You bet.
All right, got a couple of news stories I want to get in before the top of the hour. Ford Motor Company's 2021 F-150 hybrid won't claim the overall pickup mileage crown, but it will beat out all gas-powered rivals, according to EPA estimates. The redesigned truck's 3.5-liter V6 Power Boost hybrid variant with two-wheel drive will get 25 mpg combined, 25 mpg city, 26 highway. That's according to Ford on Friday. It still trails diesel variants such as the Chevy Silverado and the Ram 1500. Chevy's 27 and 26. It's not that big of a deal. But the redesigned F-150, including the hybrid model, is on sale now. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Lincoln claimed the top spot in 2020 for its first solo win as the highest scoring luxury brand in the J.D. Power U.S. Sales Satisfaction Index study released Thursday. BMW's Mini ranked highest among mass market brands, replacing Buick in the top spot.
That's surprising.
Mini has ranked in the top 3 since 2010. I didn't realize that. J.D. Power said the survey included 35,816.1 buyers who purchased or leased a new vehicle from January through June of 2020. Genesis had the best improvement from last year with an increase of 45 points, but still remained in place, last place among luxury brands at 770.
So this is the survey of the purchase experience at the dealership, not the vehicle quality. So this is, how the dealership treated you in the purchase process.
Did I not say that? It's the sales satisfaction index.
Well, I'm just kind of saying that so, everybody hears J.D. Powers and they kind of think it's always quality. This is about...
Yeah, they have many, drill it down in whatever thing that you can think of.
And all the manufacturers are proud to take the top spot of whatever survey they take.
CSI, yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here on the In Wheel Time Car Show after these brief messages.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there.
By the way, that is next weekend. We'll see you there from 8 to 11 at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican restaurant in the Katy area. That's at 99 and I-10.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Dziekan. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to noon Central on Facebook, YouTube, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.